Hello. Can you hear me? My goodness. Uh, Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. That paper. Not sign. Come. Yes. Where we were. Remember how much we have completed? Okay. Yes. We were discussing about civil disobedience movement, how it is going to start. What were the preparations for that? So let's rewind. What was that? Why that non-cooperation movement was withdrawn? Chauri Chaura incident. Yes. Now, after some time, Gandhiji also thought that people should be prepared for a mass movement. Remember that point also? Then we have, okay, we have also seen that the different sections of people have different ideas. One was that Jawaharlal Nehru and Subhash Chandra Bose, they were called as radicals. What was their idea? What they wanted to do? They wanted to continue the movement. So when the movement was withdrawn, I think all of you can hear now, online people.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Then when radicals wanted to continue, that is all of a sudden it was made to a halt. That was their thought. Then another people, who were that people? C.R. Das and Motilal Nehru. They wanted to participate in the council elections and weaken the government from within. That was their aim. Got it? So these three conditions we have seen, that is after the calling off of non-cooperation movement. Now let's see two important incidents that marked a change, or it changed the full nationalist movement. Two incidents. All of you have signed? One of that incident, what was that first incident? Great Depression. Okay, one incident was Great Depression. So Great Depression affected all the sections of people. They were not unable to pay the revenue, and the British were not ready to reduce that revenue. So that condition. Second incident, appointment of Simon Commission. Appointment of Simon Commission. Simon Commission was appointed to study about the development in India. Because in 1909, one act was passed. 1919 act was passed. Now, next act should come in 1929. So to suggest reforms and to study about the developments in India. One commission was appointed. So, do you know that what was the demand of India? India was demanding for Swaraj. It was a time in which the people were demanding for Swaraj, and a commission is appointed to study about the movement. Okay, so in that case, that the aim of the commission, so I'm writing the aim of the commission. Okay, one is to, sorry. To suggest reforms. That madam told no to keep the video on, no? Pragna,
Yes, ma'am.
keep the video on. That is what I called.
Oh.
Okay, so but you can see that board, no? All of you? Okay, mute. So, what were the two this thing aims of that Simon Commission? And suggest reforms. Now, now Indians decided to boycott it. Why Indians decided to boycott? Indians, all 7 members were British. Second, one more thing, India was
Ma'am?
demanding for Swaraj. So there was
Ma'am?
no, yes.
Ma'am, we cannot see the board, whiteboard.
Three were there, no? Okay. No, now only 2 are there, no? 3 were there, no?
4, madam.
Yes. To suggest reforms. And why Indians boycotted? One is that there was no aim of Swaraj in the appointment of the aims of the commission. Second, all 7 members were British members. So Indians decided to boycott it. This commission was appointed in 1927 and commission came to India in 1928. Okay, when the commission came to India, everywhere black flags were there and Simon Go Back slogans were there. Got it? So Indians boycotted the Simon Commission. Now, the next important development. See, even though he could not meet any Indians and he could not get the idea about what is happening in India, he gave his report. So accordingly, later on in 1935, one act came. So now that act is not important in our nationalist movement. Let's continue with the next development. The next important development in the nationalist movement. So we have learned up to which year? 1928. Then in 1929, one of the most important development was Lahore session of Congress. Okay. Lahore session of Congress. Why this Lahore session of Congress is important? Because so many important decisions were taken. Yes, what discussion? Okay, I heard it, and some of them have given that is 44 page, this page, that page. Okay, it's over. Now you listen to me. If any point is not clear, that part we will study. So I think next this thing lecture for you again on Saturday only, na? So which subject is given? No, you don't have any idea. I did not check out because same chapter, that is today I will complete it. Everywhere that 4 hours I have completed. And yesterday, which place Copper Kharne, I have taken globalization lesson. So according to the schedule only I am moving. So which lesson is given, I don't know. For you, history, this thing, making of the global world is given to me. No, making of the global world, no. Print culture is given. So I cannot start immediately that print culture. So what is the next lesson? I have to put. So that is why everywhere you are the last people, that is still this lesson is going. Okay. No problem, no? That is everything is clear to you, no? Now Lahore session, why it is important? What were the decisions taken? The first decision of the Lahore session is that they decided to demand for Purna Swaraj. My U is something. Purna Swaraj or complete independence. Henceforth, they will demand for Purna Swaraj. The word Swaraj is removed, and now they will demand for Purna Swaraj. Okay. Now, second. Celebrate 26th January as Independence Day. What's going on?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, yes.
Ma'am, could you please tell which topic you are teaching us? It's the first class which I'm joining with you.
That I'm teaching nationalism in India, civil disobedience movement.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
So, celebrate 26th January as Independence Day. So, from that year onwards, till getting independence, we celebrated 26th January as Independence Day. With what is that? How they celebrate with Independence Day pledges. Then hoisting national flag. So this way they decided to celebrate independence. Now the third thing, if the British were not ready to give us Purna Swaraj, we will start a new movement. Okay, we will launch a new movement called civil disobedience movement. So what was the earlier movement? Do you remember? Non-cooperation movement. So now the next new mass movement will be launched if the British were not ready to grant us Purna Swaraj. Okay, that movement came to be known as civil disobedience movement. What is civil disobedience movement? Breaking the law or disobeying the rules. So that is what a civil disobedience movement.
Ma'am, can you adjust the camera?
Okay, so how you can do?
Ma'am, like the full text is not visible what you have written on the board.
Acha,
So-
this one, no?
Yes, the notes which you are writing.
This much is visible, no?
No, ma'am, like a bit only. The starting part which you have written, that is only visible. The starting part of the lines, not the whole line.
This much is only visible for you. So I think
Yeah, a bit decided to demand, and then only till there and the below part, that much only.
okay. Decided to demand for Purna Swaraj or is it clear now?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Now from here I am starting that this will be visible now that 2 number is written.
Yes, ma'am.
What is the second point? Tell me. Ah. By hoisting national flags. Okay. Now, what is the third point? Okay. These are the main decisions of the everyone signed, no? Okay. Now, they have decided on 1929 that the December session at Lahore, these all decisions. Accordingly, they decided to take up. Means December, normally that Congress session used to be held between 28th to 31st. So last over. Now, next important one is 26th January. So they all celebrated Independence Day on 26th January by as per the decisions. What was that? Hoisting the national flag, Independence Day pledges. But the support was not that much because within a short time they were unable to inform that whole nation. So participation was not so much, but still they celebrated Independence Day. What would be the next one? That is launching of that civil disobedience movement. For launching the civil disobedience movement, it was not very easy for them to start. What was that? Gandhiji sent 11 demands to Lord Irwin. So, what was that? Gandhiji sent 11 demands to Lord Irwin on 31st January. And this 11 demands to be completed by, ultimatum was given by 11th March. Time is given. So submitted that demands on 31st January and it should be completed by 11th March. If it is not completed or if it is not fulfilled, then we will start the civil disobedience movement. British said that okay, जाने दो, हम लोग नहीं करेगा तो तुम क्या कर सकते हैं? So that way they did not fulfill all the demands. Now Gandhiji started his salt march on 12th March to 6th April. That is 240 miles in 24 days. Okay. So how many? 240 miles. How many days? 24 days. Means 12th March to 6th April. Every day he traveled 10 miles. And wherever he stopped, he spoke to the people. That the public gathered and he got an opportunity to speak to the people. So now, what is the importance? That is, why he took salt as a means to protest? Tell them, try. Okay, see, salt is consumed by everyone. Isn't it? Rich and poor, upper and lower classes, everyone needs salt. And this is taxed by the British government. We know that salt is prepared by natural process of evaporation. And the British got the monopoly of making salt. Monopoly, understood? They only have the right to prepare. We know that in natural process it is getting prepared, and the British claimed that they only have the right to prepare salt. And they imposed a tax on it. Now, Gandhiji told you have no right to tax on this salt. You see that it is one of the cheapest thing. Iodized salt is there. That is costly because they are using so much processes. But natural salt, do you know that? Have you seen this one? Akha namak we used to tell. So your mother might be using it for making pickle or something. That crystal salt. Okay. So that is made naturally. And now the British imposed tax. So Gandhiji thought this will be that kind of sensitive issue so that everyone can participate in it. It can strike at the root of the British government when all are participating. That is why he took salt as a topic to protest against the British. Clear? Got it? And this salt march started from Sabarmati Ashram to Dandi sea coast. In the map, this one is to be included. I think almost all the topics of that map we have covered. So that you have to thorough. Clear? So then the seacoast, that much you understood? Why he took salt as a topic to, or that is a means to protest against the British. It is consumed by everyone, rich and poor, upper and lower classes, everyone. And it is manufactured by a natural process. But the British took a monopoly of making that salt and imposed tax on it. That is why this is taken. Okay. How was that march? That is, it started on 12th March to 6th April, and he reached that Dandi sea coast on 6th and picked up that salt. By that way, he violated the salt law. So he was not the only person. That is, every sea coast, different leaders participated in the boycotting process. Okay. You people could hear me now properly?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So let's move further. Now, how was that movement? Who all participated in the movement? All those things we have to see. Because I don't have the textbook, which is the next development. How this, I'm asking you, we have learned about non-cooperation movement, and now we heard about the civil disobedience movement. How these two movements are different? Yes. Okay, civil disobedience movement, this little more training the people got how to participate. Okay. Say, what was the non-cooperation movement? Not to cooperate. But the civil disobedience movement include violating of laws. That is the main difference. And in non-cooperation movement, people interpreted it in their own way. We have learned about the Awadh. We have learned about the tribals of Godam Hills. We have learned about the plantation workers. So all those who participated in that non-cooperation movement interpreted in their own way. But the civil disobedience movement, it was a movement to violate the laws. When it was to violate the laws, there is one principle, breaking the laws, including non-payment of taxes. So that is why the civil disobedience movement was different from non-cooperation movement. At least three points you have to study. That what is non-cooperation movement? That is who all participated, how was its participation. On the other side, civil disobedience movement, what is civil disobedience movement? How, what was the difference in that movement? How people participated. Got it clear? Yes. Now let's see how different social groups participated in the movement. In textbook, have you taken the textbook? So rich sections, that what is the page number? Civil disobedience movement 38. You read that first part, that is how rich sections or rich peasants participated in the movement. First, page 41.
The countryside rich peasant communities like the Patidars of Gujarat and Jharkhand of Uttar Pradesh were active in the movement. Being producers of commercial crops, they were very hard hit by the trade depression and falling prices. As their cash income disappeared, they found it impossible to pay the government's revenue demand. And the refusal of the government to reduce the revenue demand led to widespread resentment. These rich peasants became enthusiastic supporters of the civil disobedience movement, organizing the communities and at times forcing reluctant members to participate in the boycott program. For them, the fight was Swaraj to struggle against high revenue. But they were deeply disappointed when the movement was called off in 1931 without the revenue raised by it. So when the movement was restarted in 1932, many of them refused to participate.
Okay, so who all were the rich persons participated? Patidars of Gujarat and Ghats of UP. And what were their main demand? Reduce the high revenue. We know that it was a time when that Great Depression was going on. People were not able to pay this high revenue. So they wanted to reduce that revenue. So their main demand, reduce the revenue. So they actively participated and they organized all the rich persons towards this movement. But what happened? Again, our Gandhiji called off. And after some time, he restarted that movement, but that enthusiasm was not there. Clear? Now, next paragraph, that one. So here, poor persons participated not about a reduction of revenue, but their condition was miserable. Why their condition was miserable? They don't have any land of their own. They had taken the land on rent. Now their demand was remit the rent, means cancel, because it was also a time of Great Depression. They don't have any money to pay the rent. So it has to be remitted. That was the demand of poor persons. Now it became a no rent campaign by the poor persons. And this rent is going to this richer persons only, landlords and richer persons. So Gandhiji, sorry, not Gandhiji, the Indian National Congress was not in support of this poor. Can you imagine why they did not support that poor persons? See, this rich persons were supporting financially and other means to the Congress. अभी पुअर के पीछे जाएगा तो क्या मिलेगा? कुछ नहीं मिलेगा. So their support to the poor persons was nil. So they were apprehensive about this one, whether to participate or not, and how to participate. See, if they participate, it was a movement against the Indians only. Civil disobedience movement was against the British. Now, this movement is against the Indian rich. So this way, for a long time, different types of radical methods they have used. They got the support of that socialists. Radical group also, and they did different methods. And what is that? Their method was not to pay the rent to. Here, the richer ones were trying to reduce the high revenue from the British government. These poor persons were not ready to give the rent to the rich. So, that way also they participated in the civil disobedience. Did you get what we have seen? So, their own way they participated without the support of any organizations. That means Indian National Congress was not ready to support. But clearly, now next page is about big businessmen and traders. Yes, next who is going to read? Very important. There's so many. So you have to pause and read. A little louder. Okay. Now, this rich businessman, what was their demands or what was their problem? See, during the First World War, when Europe was busy in the war, this businessmen got an opportunity to enlarge their trade. They got huge profits. Once they experience that getting profits, they want to get it continued. So that is why here they want a kind of demand like there should be protection against the import. So if foreign imports are coming, their products will not be sold. So there should be protection against the imports. That was the first demand. Did you understand? What was the background? During the First World War, they got huge profits. Now they wanted to continue that so that imports to be reduced. Protection against the imports. Second is rupee sterling ratio. What is the rupee sterling? Rupee is the Indian currency, sterling, pound sterling is the British currency. There should be a ratio so that they can sell their goods and get that much money for their products. Understood? So we know that now dollar and Indian currency. What is the difference? The dollar is 85 rupees. So one this thing dollar is equivalent to 85 rupees, means what is the ratio? Our money currency is not having any value. Understood? So here they demand that rupee sterling ratio to be maintained so that the trade can be done in a proper way. Clear? These two were the demands. The moment Gandhiji told that we are going to start that civil disobedience movement, they were the first group who jumped in because they wanted to get done all these things. First time they were very active. You have to imagine the condition of the traders. Let's go back 2 years, that means 1.5 years back. If you go, you can come to know about the lockdown was imposed in India. It was a very long period, unimaginable lockdown, unexpected thing. Now, how these traders affected? They were affected badly, no? So, because you imagine you are a trader. So you got the things, sorry. You purchase the things from the wholesale market and bring it to the shop. The shop is a rented one. Then suddenly the lockdown is declared. The wholesale adjustment is that after selling, they will pay back because the whole money they may not be having. So that is why after selling, they will pay. Now suddenly lockdown. Could they sell their things? Now these people are affected. We know that if the shops are not open, it will be damaged. The products will be damaged by rats, rodents, or many other these things. So the people had to experience, the traders had to experience huge loss. Plus, have you ever seen Bandh? Bandh, Bandh, closing down of that one shops. So that time, suddenly some political parties are declaring and they have to close down the shutters. So the trade will not take place. If any shopkeeper daringly open, they have to face the brunt of all these political leaders. They will throw stones, they will come with big sticks and damage that property. This is what this tradesmen or businessmen also had to experience. But they were ready to suffer, thinking that something will come out from this civil disobedience. Participated. Now again we are going back to that experience. The shops are closed. Of course, people are having some or other needs. Few days we suffered, and afterwards some urgent things will come. Sometimes if our sandal broke, we need a new sandal, or some urgent dress we need. So what, how we will get it? Online shopping. Okay, so he prefer online shopping. So some people will prefer that neighborhood shops only, because online shopping में ये सब चीज देख के exactly नहीं मिल सकता है. So and that time the personnel who are coming, they are coming up to the gate outside only. You have to go, you have to get it and come back. So then after opening, if any defect is there, returning policy also difficult. Okay, imagine that. And you will have to go to the neighborhood shop. This neighborhood shopkeepers, what they are doing, they are sitting here and there. If any person is coming, there is a back door. So they are ready to, okay, आपको चाहिए, हाँ, पीछे से आओ. So then only their shops will work. The losses can be covered. So what I want to tell is that they were ready to suffer the losses, thinking that someday their demands would be fulfilled. So for that purpose, two organizations were formed. That is Indian Industrial Congress was formed in 1920, and FICCI, the Federation of Indian, tell, Industrial, no, Commercial, okay. So this organization was formed in 1927. And the two eminent industrialists who participated or took the lead were G.D. Birla and Purushottam Das Thakur Das. Now, they very actively from 1931 onwards, they were participating. Suddenly in 1932, Gandhiji called off that civil disobedience movement. They were very much upset because without fulfilling that, it is called off. Now, when Gandhiji came back from London, he restarted, but nobody was having that enthusiasm. What was their need that was not fulfilled, and they were not ready to experience or continue with the losses. I have told about throwing that stones on their shops and damaging that property. They faced it earlier, but now they are not ready to face. They thought to continue. I told these shopkeepers were sitting here and ready to open the shop from behind. If the government is not allowing, but we also need something. So that is why they were ready to open. So the same thing Here also, I made this comparison to understand that. Got it clearly? Now next part is about industrial workers' role. Who is going to read? The role of industrial workers. Tell. Anti-imperial. Okay. So industrial workers and this group, industrialists, they were on opposite camps. See, industrial owners are the bosses, workers are the people who work under them. Now, if I am the owner of the factory or industry, I have the capacity to control the workers. Workers have to obey. Now they are in the two areas, two extreme this thing. Industrialists wanted to make a profit. The workers were exploited by them. Got this too? Now, industrialists were, in the previous part we have seen, they were the rich people. They gave help, financial support to the Congress for the movement. So these workers were far away. So their participation was not so active. Leaving Nagpur region, the other parts, it is very much less only. Some scattered dock workers, mine workers, and railway workers, they participated, but their participation was insignificant. Why we are discussing who all participated in the civil disobedience movement, whether the civil disobedience movement was a success or not. So we see that different sections participated: rich peasants, poor peasants, industrialists, and industrial workers. Okay. Now let us see, in between, you have gone through a word, a round table conference. What is this round table conference? See, when civil disobedience movement was going to be launched, Lord Irwin offered the Congress one chance, one promise. Okay, we will give you dominion status and conduct round table conference. Lord Irwin, Viceroy, then Viceroy. Okay, he offered that we will give you dominion status. What is this dominion status? See, this was condition experienced in the colonies like Canada, Australia, etc. These two were also British colonies. Understood? So they were white people. So they were given the capacity to rule by themselves. But Indians were not given that. So that kind of condition would be given. That is an offer. That was a promise. But Indians asked, when are you going to give? You give a clear-cut date so that we will not start. But they were not ready to offer a fixed date of dominion status. So then only Indians proceeded. Then the second one is roundtable conference will be convened. The first roundtable conference was held in the year 1930. So Indian National Congress at that time very active in the civil disobedience movement. So Indian National Congress did not participate in the movement. So because it was active in the civil disobedience movement, so it did not participate. Now, Hindu Mahasabha participated, Muslim League participated, then princes participated, industrialists participated, every sections participated. And the British were in a position that, okay, what is your demand? Okay, granted. What is your demand? Granted. What is your demand? Granted. So every small sections, their demands were granted. But for the whole country, Indian National Congress was only demanding. Understood? See, when you are going for one meeting and you reached there with some needs, so you will present your need only. There are so many dishes are kept. So you will take what you want. You will not take what others are taking. That what is your need, you will take. The same way, these people were also demanding for their needs, and the British were ready to grant it. Now what happened? Indian National Congress did not participate, so first roundtable conference was a failure. Now the British wanted to persuade Indian National Congress to participate in it. For that, one agreement was made that is called a Gandhi-Irwin Pact. Gandhi-Irwin Pact was the agreement between Gandhiji and Lord Irwin. What was the conditions of the Gandhi-Irwin Pact? 1931. This agreement, the Gandhi-Irvine Pact, was in 1931. Okay, got it? So this Gandhi-Irvine Pact was made to persuade Indian National Congress to participate in the second roundtable conference. So accordingly, both the groups, that means Indian National Congress and what is that, British, were ready to come in some terms. What was the demand of the British? Okay, Indian National Congress should participate in it. So Gandhiji told, we will participate in the second roundtable conference only in one condition: if you release the political prisoners. Because when you read, you might have seen more than 1 lakh personnel were imprisoned when those who protested and participated in the civil disobedience movement were in prison. All important leaders were also in prison. So now the demand of Gandhiji was that you release the political prisoners. Okay, the British agreed to release the political prisoners. Now Gandhiji agreed, okay, we will participate. Now the British made the second demand. What was that? Civil disobedience movement to be withdrawn, or call off that civil disobedience movement. Okay, in one condition, we will withdraw. We will call off that civil disobedience movement, that we will come and participate in the roundtable conference and see what is happening. So, agreed to withdraw the civil disobedience movement. All the three things. Now, Gandhiji was selected to participate in the second roundtable conference. He attended that conference, but he was insulted by the British. Because I have told you, every different sections were demanding for their cause. That was very easy for the British to grant. But the Indian National Congress was demanding for independence. That was not very easy to grant. So because of that, he came back to India very unhappy. After reaching India, he saw again that Abdul Ghaffar Khan and Jawaharlal Nehru and all were in jail. He thought that we will start a civil disobedience movement again. But the momentum has gone. So that is why the attitude towards the relaunch of that civil disobedience movement was very poor, or the response was very poor. And finally, in 1934, the civil disobedience movement was completely cancelled or called off. Got this one? What is roundtable conference? 1934, it is completely called off. Got? 1932 relaunched and 1934 cancelled. Correct? Check it. Now, Next part is about the role of women in that civil disobedience movement. Now you did not read, no? You read. 93, that only I told. Girls are also going to get. Now this much over. Now women he is going to read and Muslims you have to. Hmm? Okay. So when we see that women participation, there was large scale participation of women. They participate in the salt marches. They participated in the picketing of the shops, picketing of liquor shops and all. So they actively participated, the large scale participation. And mostly the women from the richer houses or the upper classes, they came out hearing the call of Gandhiji. But what was the attitude of Gandhiji towards this participation? Was he happy? What he told, your role is confined to the houses because India is a male dominated society. They don't want women to hold high posts. So that is why Gandhiji was not very much supportive to that movement, support of the the activities of the women or the participation of the women, but still they participated actively in the civil disobedience movement. You can see that Sarojini Naidu and all. So all those women, they took the lead in the salt marches in different parts. Then they also took the lead in picketing the shops, boycott activities. All this thing, the participation of women was very active. Got it? Now, what is the role of Muslims? Okay, untouchables only now, no? Dalits. Okay, sorry. Muslims later on, no? Okay, start. Okay. Who were called as Dalits? Untouchables. Who were these untouchables? Okay. According to the Hindu system, there was a system called a caste system. Divided the society into 4 main castes. And the lowest of that were called untouchables. These untouchables were prevented entry into the public places, usage of public things and all. So they were considered as backward, not having social participation with the others. They were excluded from the society. Now, what's their problem? What's our problem with that? See, here there were other group called Sanatanis. Sanatanis were the upper class people. So there is a huge gap between the Dalits and the Sanatanis. Those who were experiencing this untouchability, those who were experiencing the backwardness were the Dalits. Those who were treating them cruelly were called the Sanatanis. So because of that, the participation in this movement were in a very different way. Conquerors did not want them to interfere in the Dalit problem, because many of the leaders belong to this Sanatanis. So if they interfere in the problem of that Dalits, the others will move away. So they don't want to interfere. Okay, but what was the attitude of Gandhiji? Gandhiji called these people as Harijans. Harijans or children of God. He wanted to include those people in the mainstream of the society. He don't wanted to keep them away. But only one Gandhiji cannot help it. The attitude or the mentality of the people have to change. It was not very easy to change because it did not happen in a day. So many centuries this practice was going on. You might have heard in that Puranas or like that, all the scriptures also gave sanctity to this kind of caste system. So this is not very easy to remove or to change the attitude of the people. But he tried his best by showing every work is what is that having its dignity. That is why he cleaned toilets or whatever. So every work have dignity. And there was a Dalit leader called Ambedkar, B.R. Ambedkar, who drafted that Indian Constitution. He organized that Dalits into depressed classes. What was it? Organized all Dalits into depressed classes. That is what one organization. So he himself experienced, he belonged to a Dalit family. So he had that experience. So he could work for it. So what is that? His belief was that their condition can be changed only when their condition can be changed when there is a reservation in education institution there is reservation in legislative assemblies, legislative councils, so that their participation will be there and their condition can be changed. That was his attitude, his belief. Okay, so he organized them into depressed classes. Now, there was a kind of dispute. He participated in that second roundtable conference, demanding for reserved constituencies. British agreed. Then the next problem came. You read next part of Pune Pact.
Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, who organized the Dalit Inter-Depressed Classes Association in 1930, clashed with Mahatma Gandhi at the second roundtable, but demanded separate elections of Dalit. When British government considered Ambedkar demand Gandhi began a fast unto death. He believed the separate electorate for Dalits would slow down the process of their integration into society. Ambedkar ultimately accepted Gandhi's position, and the result was the Pune Pact of September 1932. It gave the depressed classes reverse seat in provincial and central legislative councils, but they were voted by the general electorate, the Dalit movement. However, the continued to be comprehensive for the concept.
Okay. Now, what is the problem? I have told you in the second roundtable conference, Dr. Ambedkar attended it. Have you seen the photograph of Dr. Ambedkar? How his appearance, suit coat with a book. So, no, always that way only his photographs used to be. He worked for that education, improvement of the status of that Dalits. That is why in Constitution their name is included as scheduled caste. Okay, I'll tell you that one also. So what was the attitude of Ambedkar? He demanded for separate electorate for Dalits. Now Gandhiji, when it is heard, he start fast unto death. Means till death he will fast if this one is implemented. Fasting without food. Okay. Fast okay. Fast unto death. Till death he will not eat food. Now we know that the supporters of Gandhiji tried to persuade Ambedkar to think in Gandhiji's viewpoint also. Why Gandhiji was against that separate electorate? Let us see what was his attitude. Now, if Dalits were given separate electorate means only Dalit will elect Dalit leader. That is the meaning. अभी दलित लोगों ने मिलके एक दलित लीडर को इलेक्ट करने में क्या फायदा है? their representative will be there. That is what you are going to tell. But my question is that if Dalit is electing a Dalit leader, can he get the support of other people? No. So Gandhiji was telling that Dalits should be integrated with the mainstream so that everyone will elect a Dalit person. See the difference? If Dalit is electing a Dalit leader, they never become the part and parcel of the society. But the other people also should understand that a Dalit person should be elected from the particular constituency. That your reservation to be there. They should be the part and parcel of the society. सब लोग अभी वोटिंग के लिए क्या करता है, हम सब वोट करता है, सब वोट करता है, उसमें जो कैंडिडेट्स है उसमें हमको जो पसंद है उसको वोट करता है. अंडरस्टूड? अभी ये इधर क्या है, दलित जाके एक दलित को वोट करता है, उसमें बहुत फर्क है. सब लोग अभी सोचने का इस बार हम एक दलित को वोट करेगा, उसमें सब लोग का चॉइस आता है. Only Dalit elect Dalit means that is not a way to incorporate them to the mainstream. That is what Gandhiji told. So Gandhiji, the other leaders, it was not very easy for Ambedkar to accept it. Because Ambedkar started thinking that ये दलित को चांस देने का अपर क्लास को पसंद नहीं है. That is why Gandhiji was opposing it. But Gandhiji's idea was not like that. अभी उसको भी मेन स्ट्रीम में लाने का. अभी हमारा प्रेसिडेंट एक दलित है, दलित नहीं है, वो जो ट्राइबल. सो सब लोग मिलके उसको इलेक्ट किया. अगर only tribals are electing that to the president, that is different from the whole nation is electing her as the president. Understood the difference? That is why in our constitution it is given only minority candidate should be there. That is Muslim become a president, that is that community, Brahmin community president, means all those who are minorities. Understood? So that is made in our constitution. So एक ट्राइबल को सीट देना जरूरी था तो दे दिया, तो सब लोग एक्सेप्ट किया. ओके, एक दलित वुमन को और सॉरी एक व्हाट इज दैट ट्राइबल वुमन को सेलेक्ट करने का. दैट इज व्हाट द आइडिया ऑफ गांधीजी. बट अंबेडकर थॉट दैट ये अपर क्लास ने कभी हमको चांस नहीं देने वाला है. That is why he moved away from. But others persuaded Ambedkar to meet Gandhiji, and they met at Pune and they agreed. Accordingly, this will be elected. That means Dalit would be elected from a general electorate. उधर एक दलित को ही सेलेक्ट करने का, सब लोग वोट देने का, बट दलित को ही इलेक्ट करने का. That way, general electorate. So their assimilation to the society is coming. That is very important in our history. That Pune Pact between Gandhiji and Ambedkar. अभी हमारा इधर कैसा है, you have heard about NMMC is there. I am giving example. The NMMC में 50% women representation is there. 50%. So 50% only women candidate to be there. उसका कुछ पार्टी नहीं है, तो सब पार्टी का women candidate will be there. Men also will vote, but from that particular constituency decided only women candidate. Got it? Today's this much portion is understood now clearly. Yes, you people understood?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So it's break time. We will meet after 15 minutes. Okay.
Ma'am, you're muted.
Yes. Yes. Okay. See, afterwards, if a problem is there, then, eh? Because after completing this lesson, I have to move to wash. ICSE students. Ah, yes, I have. Okay, join Anshul, Samitra. There, I think. So, no? Yes. Okay, set. Where it is? What are you telling? That is it. Yes, now Muslims. Now whose turn is there? Textbook you take. What is the base number you tell? खत्म होएगा. That is what, no? No problem. It's okay. I'm here anytime. This month only is a problem. Otherwise, full time I'm here. Yes, you read that separate demands of Muslim. Yes, all of you who are online could hear. Am I
Yes, ma'am.
audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Manav?
Yes, ma'am.
Some of the Muslim political organizations in India were also performing a response to after the decline of the non-cooperation Southern movement. A large section of Muslims were alienated from the Congress. From the mid-1920s, the Congress came to be more closely associated with vocally these institutions and like Hindu Mata. Communist clashes and riots in various cities. Every riot. The Congress and the Muslim League made efforts to finish UPA and alliance, and in 1927 it appeared that such a unity can be formed. The important differences were over the question of representation in the future assembly that was elected. Muhammad Ali Jinnah, one of the leaders of the Muslim League, willing to give up his demand to separate electorate if Muslims were assured reserved seats in the Central Assembly and representation and proposed to this population in the Muslim dominated provinces, Bengal and Punjab. Negotiations over the question of representation continued, but all hope of resolving the issue at the all-party conference in 1928. This was there when M.R. Jayakar of the And this evidence of evidence
That next paragraph also you just read it.
when the civil disobedience movement started, there was an opposition and discriminating community. Alienated from the Congress, large section of citizens did not respond to the call for united struggle. Many Muslim leaders and intellectuals expressed their concern about the status of Muslims as a minority within India. They feared that the culture and identity of minorities would be submerged under the domination of an international majority.
Okay. Now, here what we have to understand is that when Hindus and Muslims were fighting, their unity was on and off. Sometime they worked together, then again they were separated. So it is not a unity for a long time, because for Hindus, Hindu Mahasabha was formed. For Muslims, Muslim League was formed. Their interests were ideologically different. And Hindu Mahasabha began to claim that India is Hindu nation. So the Muslims began to feel that they were a group separated from them. So this gave rise to alienation, that is the enemy type feeling among that Hindus and Muslims. This was the time, do you remember I told you about the Khilafat movement? So Khilafat movement was a movement started by the Muslims all over the world to protect the Caliphate. So that time Gandhiji tried to bring the Hindus and Muslims together. After some time, when the movement started, and after some time, what happened? The Hindus created some problems, and Muslims moved away. Then afterwards, there was no such unity, and you know that this Muhammad Ali Jinnah, who is considered as the father of Pakistan, he was born in Mumbai only. So he wanted to be the part of India. For a long time, he tried for that. But so after some time, when the differences are so much, the unity was very difficult to forge. Then again in 1927 and all, that the Simon Commission, that entry of Simon Commission time, they tried to unite for some time. Then afterwards, then when this civil disobedience movement started, they thought that why to cooperate with Hindus? Because they are a group different from them. They want a separate nation. That ideology came to be known as two-nation theory. India that is consists of two nations, Hindus and Muslims. It is not India and Pakistan, Hindus and Muslims. This two-nation theory was very active. In 1935, one act came into being, and according to that, elections were held. That time, Muslim League demanded that for them, that Muslim majority area, separate electorate to be given. But Indian National Congress was telling that election to be held, that is in a general constituency. If Muslims are winning, okay, well and good, you form the government. But when it was elections held, majority of that provinces, Indian National Congress only win. So this separated them. So 1940, first time they demanded that two-nation theory. From then onwards, There was no looking back. Never they came together. Okay, so in between, sometime they worked together, then they separated, and the gap began to be widened. And this Muslims' participation or cooperation to the Indian national movement was not that good. And finally, the aim of the British also the same thing, divide and rule. Their aim was successful. That is why India was divided. Clear? So in your textbook, there is one part, source D is there. Read it, or that it is little difficult for you to understand. So you give me a textbook, I will read and explain. If it is not given, so it may be there. You are having both. It is there, but some of the points are not given fully. See, you are knowing that you are getting that case study questions like that, or from the sources questions are coming. So you should understand very clearly what it is. In 1930, Muhammad Iqbal, as president of the Muslim League, reiterated the importance of separate electorate for the Muslims as an important safeguard for their minority political interest. See, I have told all these things included, but 1930 only that he gave stress, once again brought it before, that their political interest to be safeguarded, for that or so their minority status to be protected, for that separate electorate to be given. Getting? Next one is that his statement is supposed to have provided the intellectual justification for Pakistan demand that came up in subsequent years. That demand stressed for the demand for Pakistan in later years. I have told you 1940, the two-nation theory was made very clear. Our demand is a separate nation. So that started with this Muhammad Iqbal's statement in 1930. What is that? I have no hesitation in declaring that if the principle that the Indian Muslim is entitled to full and free development on the lines of his own culture and tradition in his own Indian homelands is recognized as the basis of a permanent communal settlement. That is that communalism, that is division of people into Hindus and Muslims, that division to be completely settled. The only way to make that settlement is separate nation or separate electorate at that time. Because separate nation cannot be created at that time when independence was not given. So their demands or their needs to be fulfilled, then only we can accomplish. That is what the idea of Muhammad Iqbal. He will be ready to stake his all for the freedom of India. See, if Muslims have to give full demand for the freedom of India, first he should be considered as part of. He should be given a chance to develop his culture, his customs, practices and his religion. ये फ्रीडम दबा के रखेगा तो कैसा इंडिया के लिए फाइट करेगा? हमको हमारा राज्य में वो जो हमारा डेवलपमेंट के लिए चांस नहीं होएगा तो हम इंडिया के लिए कैसे फाइट करेगा? That is what his question. Now If you are not allowed to follow your customs, your religion, your language in a free way, how can you fight unitedly? That is, got it clear? For the fullest development, this is a requirement according to him. Now, the principle that each group is entitled to the free development of its own lines is not inspired by any feeling of narrow nationalism. We मेरा लैंग्वेज डेवलप करने के लिए और स्प्रेड करने के लिए यूज करने के लिए मैं कोशिश कर रहे, ये नैरो नेशनलिज्म नहीं है. ऐसा मत सोचो ये नैरो नेशनलिज्म है. That is, I have full freedom to develop. You just imagine when you are getting a chance to use your mother tongue, how much happy you will be. Not happy? You are still thinking about that that portion which is left out. Okay. Now, what is that? We are very happy when we get an opportunity to express our feelings in a free way. That is through the language, through the customs and practices. So that fullest way, if we want to express it, we should be given that freedom. Now, another thing is that a community which is inspired by the feelings of ill will towards other communities is low and ignoble. That is the community which try to suppress others' feelings are low only. Only my language should develop, my religion should develop, my customs and practices should develop, and the others are all inferior. That is narrow nationalism only. They are low and ignoble. Okay. Then I entertain the highest respect for the customs, laws, religious and social institutions of other communities. Then, nay, it is my duty, according to the teachings of Quran, even to defend their places of worship if need be. According to Quran, that is Muhammad Iqbal is telling that according to Quran, it is my duty to protect others' religious places also. So you have no right to suppress the feelings of other religions. That is what he wanted to tell. You remember here in this case, M.R. Jaker opposed the ideas put forward. So that is why he indirectly wanted to say this. Now, next one is that, yet I love the communal group, which is the source of life and behavior and which has formed me what I am, by giving me its religion, its literature, its thought, its culture, and thereby its whole past as a living operative factor in my present consciousness. Everyone is brought up with the values taught by religion, isn't it? So when you are that is brought up in a family, that the family's religious faith is inducted in you. Am I correct or not? See, I heard that. I don't know. I am not sure about it. According to that Hindu this thing customs, that is evening lighting the lamp or like that. So if girls are not there, sometimes the boys are also doing that. So that is what the family taught you. These are the ways we are practicing our religion. So that way, customs and practices brought values to the life of the people. So here, Muhammad Iqbal is telling that I am proud of being in that religious faith because it helped me to grow and flourish. I want to preserve it. I want to continue it. Okay. Communalism in its higher aspect then is indispensable to the formation of harmonious whole in a country like India. So in our country, there are differences, communal differences, and it is coming into a violent form. Because you heard about communal violence, communal riots. So it is turning out to be in violent form. That is not good for the growth of the country. Next is that the units of Indian society are not territorial. See, in Europe, the boundaries are made. फ्रांस का बाउंड्री इधर है, that Spain का बाउंड्री इधर है, जर्मनी का बाउंड्री है. Like that, boundaries are defined. But in India, can we define, at that time I am talking about, can we define the boundary? Because it was ruled by different rulers. But we are talking about a whole India. It was at that time extended up to Afghanistan. That much vast country, it cannot be limited with the boundaries or territorial limits. Then the principle of European democracy cannot be applied to India without recognizing the fact of communal groups. Okay, democracy was introduced in Europe. It is possible because only this much country is there. Within that, same language, same customs, same religious people, there is no difficulty in that. But a country like ours, where so many religions are there, so many languages are there, so many customs and practices, is it possible to make a democratic order like that of Europe? No. So that is what he was telling. The Muslim demand for the creation of a Muslim India within India is therefore perfectly justified. According to him, the demand for a separate nation is justified. Next, the Hindu thinks that a separate electorate are contrary to the spirit of true nationalism because he understands the word nation to mean a kind of universal amalgamation in which no communal entity ought to retain its private individuality. So, if a Hindu is against that creation of a separate nation, he is not understanding the individuality of the people. Every individual have a freedom to follow his religion. So it has to be brought together. It has to be accommodated. If accommodation is difficult, this is the only solution. अभी तुम लोग को दूसरे को अकोमोडेट करने का, उसका बिलीफ, उसका प्रैक्टिस अकोमोडेट करने का डिफिकल्टी होएगा, तो डिफरेंट होना ही बेटर. Clear or not? That is what his suggestion. India is a land of racial and religious variety. Add to this the general economic inferiority of the Muslims, their enormous debt, especially in Punjab, and their insufficient majorities in some of the provinces as at present constituted, and you will begin to see clearly the meaning of our anxiety to retain separate electorate. In India, the Muslims considered to be the poor. Their poverty is one of the problem they faced. Another thing, there are some regions Muslims are majority, Hindus are minority. There are some regions Hindus are majority and Muslims are minority. This fact we have to accept. Then only we can make the nation a perfect one. So after understanding, I feel, that is, I am not the person, Muhammad Iqbal felt that the solution to the problem is separate nations. Understood? Now we are moving to the next part. What is the sense of collective belonging? Am I correct? No? What is meant by sense of collective belonging? It's a feeling of oneness. Okay, what is that? Feeling of oneness. See, you may belong to different schools, different places, but there is a common thing which unites you. What is that? You are all part of UT. Okay, that is something which unites the people. That is called collective identity. That creates some identities. Now, how this sense of collective identity came into being? See, it did not come all of a sudden. One fine day it will not come. It is developed through different activities, different beliefs, different methods, different customs. All these things are helping in creating. Okay, what are the things which help in creating the collective identity? One, say you all belong to 10th standard. You all belong to this one CBSE syllabus, and you all are going to write the same exam. You all are going to write the exam same day. There is something common, eh? That is what there are differences. So I am going to say, or I want to say, is that this is the commonness united you. You have lot of differences. Your behaviors are different, your attitudes are different, your likes are different, your understanding can be different, your memory, that power, retention power can be different. But there are some common things which unite you. This is what happened when this collective belonging develops. Another thing which how these all things developed. These all things developed as a result of united struggle. Yes. Huh? You are not different, you are same. Okay. Let us see, that is the first thing, it is forged through the united struggle. What is the united struggle? We started fighting against the common enemy from 1857 onwards. From that time onwards, different methods of struggle we used. All those struggles we in different way participated. We have seen Alluri Sitaram Raju also participated. Gandhiji also participated. Dr. Ambedkar also participated. Then M.R. Jaikar also participated. So all the ways of participation different, but they participated in the common struggle. Got it? Now, next is that through different cultural processes, see, when anything is to be made, there is a process. If some dish is to be made, so much process is included. That is the vegetable, that is some bhaji to be prepared, the vegetables to be washed, cut, then the ingredients to be used, that is cooking processes to be used, done. So it did not come all of a sudden one fine morning. Through certain cultural processes. For example, you know that in Maharashtra, the festivals like Ganpati festival, it is one of the most important festival of Maharashtra, which unite the people. So it was not there so many years. This festival was revived during the nationalist movement in order to unite the people. Got it? Then you are knowing about Durga Puja. Durga Puja time also people are united. You also know that that Dandiya, Garba, Dandiya. Okay, that time also people are coming together. So what is that? It united the people of different parts, different religious group, different community groups and all. So it helped in bringing the unity among the people. It is through cultural processes only. When you are seeing that you told about Garba, that is Dandiya is also there. Another different forms are there, no? And in Punjab, which are the dance forms, Gidda and Bhangra. So Bhangra and Gidda dances are there. In Assam, another forms of dances are there. So different groups, different kinds of dance forms, music forms, worship forms, everything bring the people together. The festivals are there. Different ways the people celebrate the festival. So all happen through cultural processes. Got it clear? Next point is that we have a long history. Our history did not develop in one day. So many people forget. I mean, now you are learning history. Many of the students are not interested in learning history. Boring hai. Very boring. So मेरा teaching भी boring है. हाँ. उसको इंटरेस्ट नहीं आता है पढ़ने का. है? अच्छा अच्छा. अभी समझ में आ रहा है क्या? हाँ. So what is there? That is why so many other topics are also involved and making it. मैंने सीक्वेंस में आपको समझाते हैं ना, डेट वाइज ईयर वाइज हमने समझाते हैं ना. Okay, so what is that? History. We have a long history and we are proud of our history, and many people are not knowing about that. So what is happening? There is a need of reinterpretation. Can you see those people are online? Reinterpretation.
Yes.
So reinterpretation is the process of interpreting it, which we were not there We were not having any idea about it. We reinterpret it. So then we started becoming proud of our culture. We started, that is, creating a feeling of love towards our country. So that is what we have a common shared history. Then another thing is that fiction. What is that? A fiction is a type of story. Okay, so folklore is another one. Folk stories are or folk songs are other. Fiction is that stories of the events that happen. Now, just now we have studied about that what Muhammad Iqbal wrote. Okay, so this kind of fiction also help us to understand about that. See, when you are studying this history, this lesson particularly, you are looking to the nationalist movement in the viewpoint of different sections of people. Earlier, there was a type of history written. It was looked through the viewpoint of political parties. How they looked it, how they viewed it, how they interpreted it. Now, various sections like peasants, industrialists, workers, all the sections, how they interpreted all these movements. They connected their problems with the nationalist movement. This is why this fiction is important. Then the next important, as you told, folk lore and songs. What is it? Every locality has certain stories to tell us. Alluri Siddharam Raju is a character in the history, but he lived in Gudam Hills and that locality, and the children, generation and generation were told about this one. So like that, every locality is having certain stories which are connected to their culture. When we talk about Mumbai, the life of Mumbai is different from the life of a remote village in Maharashtra. So what type of conditions are there, that is told to the children. Children are made to understand according to that conditions. What is folklore? Folk stories. That is local stories. I'll tell you one example for it. See, present day, you are living in the modern technological age. You are understanding about that means when you were kids, you watch Shinjan or that one. Okay. Doraemon. Okay. So, these characters are very familiar to you. So, but to the people of older generation, we connect that, sorry, whether it is practical or not. We are thinking about that practicality of it working. So, if you are told that a story, present day, you should be told that a person have to move through the forest to other region, that is a child is to be taken to some other, that is Alice in Wonderland, like that stories if you are told. So that person is taken in the spacecraft only. Modern day imagination is like that. But to a child of the older generation, spacecraft kya hai? So they cannot imagine about a spacecraft. To that child, if it is told, बड़ा सा pumpkin ले लिया, उसमें एक ये बनाया, हॉल बनाया, उसके अंदर चाइल्ड को घुसा दिया, उसको रोल करके वो दूसरे जगह पहुंचाया. वो सोचेगा तो ना, इमेजिनेशन कैन वर्क. Understood? That is what it is related to the conditions of that period. So parents used to tell such kind of stories about how these people escaped. So reality is coming. Now, the people who are stranded in the forest, stranded. So one big animal came. To escape from the animal, that person climbed on the tree. Okay, it is a practical thing. But अगर ये स्टोरी बनाया और उधर एक ना हेलीकॉप्टर आके उसको उठा के लेके गया, आज का जनरेशन वो ही एक्सेप्ट करेगा. बट प्रैक्टिकल थिंकिंग इज दैट उधर एक tree, that is the person who cannot climb the tree also will climb, because to escape that from that animal. This is what the practicality. So people in the ancient times, they told stories to the children. Now in the nursery classes you are learning that, nursery or KG classes you are learning that this thing, what is that poem, this thing, Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. What is Humpty Dumpty? It is made to Humpty and Dumpty. Who are they? So they are made. Now you are not asking any question by hearting that one. But in the earlier times, ये क्या है Humpty Dumpty, ये क्या है? उसकी जगह पे वो लोकेलिटी का कोई इसका नाम डालेगा, किसी का नाम राम और श्याम डालेगा, तो बच्चे लोग को इसी होएगा, वो कनेक्ट कर देगा. That is how that folk flows. And these stories which are forgotten, now they began to collect and combine. I am interested in reading that stories. That means every time, traveling time, when I this thing train में क्या कहते हैं 20 rupees का 10 rupees का कितना books मिलता है, उतना book खरीद के पूरा train journey में read कर देता है. Means afterwards, after reading that, gone. Next time another story books will be collected. But after 2 years, when this story, मैंने कब पढ़ा ये story? So this is what happened. That is small stories for time pass purpose people read, but at the same time they connect it with that locality. So if it is told about that in the house a big this one elephant entered. Elephant कैसे enter कर? That is what a natural this thing. But story के लिए चलता है. So this way folk laws and folk songs were compiled, collected, and then it is given to that people. They began to connect it with their earlier culture, and that helped them to unite. Got it? Now next one, symbols. What is the use of symbols? Here little deeper part we have to study about the symbol. See, there are so many abstract things. If I am talking about justice, क्या है justice क्या है? So then you began to think about that it may be the name of a person. Okay, so some people will think, okay, मैंने सुना तो Justice Ranade, okay, एक judge होगा. So this way the people, that is abstract idea, have to be brought into reality, connect to the reality. So for that purpose, some symbols are required. When we have to talk about liberty, liberty is freedom. Well, how can you relate that liberty? That is an abstract thing. When you are telling that is, are you happy? Yes, happy. So when you are happy, what you will do? You will laugh, or from your laugh or smile, we can understand you are happy. That is a feeling. So to express such kind of abstract things to the real thing, that is symbols are used. Okay, symbols are, sorry, those people cannot see. Symbols and images. Have you heard about Bharat Mata? What is that image of Bharat Mata? Okay, modern. Bharat, a woman figurine. Okay, then. Okay, see this Bharat Mata. Bharat Mata's image is made like an ascetic, एक सन्यासिनी का इमेज बना दिया. उसका कॉस्ट्यूम तो वही कलर का था. What is the color? कुंकुम saffron कलर का. Then what was the nature of that person? Calm, composed, divine. तो ऐसा होएगा तो ना तो हम लोग उसको देख के प्रे करना चाहते. Means that divine nature. Clear? On the other hand, you can find how many hands this woman is having. 4 hands. So modern day, you connect it with how your mother is doing that household chores at home. Multitasking. That as if she is having 10 hands. Everywhere she is present, every work she is doing. So this shows that is what many that works that a person is performing. So first is that a woman figure. It was having divine nature. It is calm, composed and all. So godly character is there. Human characteristic is there. Then you know that later so many other aspects are added to that. When you are worshipping, that is Durga Puja time, goddess Kali is worshipped. What is the aspect of the goddess Kali? Whether it is calm, composed nature, means the mouth, that one's that the tongue is coming out, the anger, that means violence, like no killing that. That is destroying the evil. The meaning is that she is destroying the evil. So that when the destruction of the evil is there, peacefully cannot be done. So that characteristic is there for gods or goddesses. On the other hand, goddess Saraswati is there. She is considered as the goddess of knowledge. Saraswati Puja you people are doing. So goddess of knowledge. So what that way you are worshipping that goddess. On the other hand, Lakshmi is there. Lakshmi Puja is also. So Lakshmi Puja is done for that is for wealth, prosperity, isn't it? So all these aspects are included in that image, different stages. So when you are seeing that image, you are getting all the different concepts of that. Understood? That is why images, symbols, and all made. If you are going only to the temple to worship that particular Kali, that one, you can see only that part. If you are doing that worship of Lakshmi, that good aspects you can see. So all these are included because these all are different feelings. So it is all included to make us understand that kind of abstract idea to real ideas. Did you get that Bharat Mata concept? Now there is in the symbols or this one, icons are there. What are the icons? See, in order to represent the country outside, what is used? Flag, emblem. See, in the passport, that emblem is there. Okay. And when you are that sports or games or that events are there, what is shown? That is flag. This national flag symbolizes the nation. When you are watching Olympics or like that, you are getting a chance that you are feeling proud when our flag is coming. When that, for example, boxing or like that event, when India is having match with somebody else, we want only that Indian personnel to be seen. उसको ज्यादा मार नहीं मिलने का. So India should win. So there behind that a small flag is shown. This is what representing Indian. So like that, flag is a representation of the country. That is considered as the icon. See, Indian flag is not developed all of a sudden or one day it is not developed. How it is evolved through different stages. There was a flag which used in the 1905 time. That flag was called Swadeshi flag. Swadeshi flag. Because in 1905, Bengal was partitioned. So there was a protest. That movement came to be known as Swadeshi and boycott. That is of our own country. That is what is Swadeshi. So they developed a Swadeshi flag. That Swadeshi flag's color was red, green, and yellow. Okay. What are the colors of that? Red, green, and yellow. And it is having that. Can you this thing take on one side that one Google usme Swadeshi flag. Swadeshi flag. वो लोग को दिखाई देता है क्या? है? Yes, those who are online, can you see that?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am. Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Ah. See, we are talking about that flag which was introduced in 1906 time. So it is having three colors. What is that? Red, green, and yellow. And that Vande Mataram was written. And at the same time, 8 lotuses depicting 8 provinces, and this thing crescent moon that represent Hindus and Muslims. That was the first flag. What was it called? Swadeshi. Okay. Now next one, that Swaraj flag 1921 ka. Yes. So 1921, the flag was called Swaraj flag. Swaraj flag was having what is that? White, red, and green. And it is having a charkha in the middle. And this charkha stands for self-reliance. खुद काम करके अपना जो नीड फुलफिल करने का, that is what is self-reliance. So 1921 का वो कलर भी याद करने का, white, green, and red, and charkha in the middle, and the charkha represent what? Self-reliance. Got it? Now the present day flag. 1947 में develop किया. That you all are knowing that. So, but the colors are little different. On the top is saffron, in the middle white, and then dark green. Okay. And white also, what is that? In the middle of the white, blue color, chakra, wheel. Charkha ke jagah pe chakra, wheel. That is blue color. It is not exactly indigo color, blue color. So white में blue color का. And this wheel is having 24 spokes. Okay. This 24 spokes represent 24 hours. The wheel is always moving. And like that, 24 hours, we are always on the move. No. It is not, that is, we are having more states, no. "24 states, no, that time formation time 24 states were not there. It is representing 24 hours. We are always on the motion, movement. Clear? Got understood? And there is a ratio 2:3. That flags ratio, length into breadth. Understood? This is the ratio. Okay. Yes, come back. Only one person. Bring all of them back. Yes, You got all the flags. What are the peculiarities? What are the colors? What it means? So 3 flags. First one was Swadeshi flag, then Swaraj flag, and then after independence, that national tricolor flag. Yeah. Now, these all are the things that icons and symbols. Okay, take your book and then paragraph by paragraph you will see, and the reinterpretation is required, that we will explain. First onwards, sense of collective unity. Who are the people did not read? One, you read. You. Okay. Sense of collective, this thing you read.
Nationalism spreads when people began to believe that they are all part of the nation. When they discovered the unity that binds them together, but how did the nation become a reality in the minds of people? How did the people belonging to different communities, regions, or languages develop into collective belonging? This sense of collective belonging comes partly through the skills of United Service.
So we have studied united struggle. Okay. Slowly you have to, so that each one we will recollect.
But there were also variety of cultural processes through which nationalism captured people's imagination.
Cultural processes also we have studied. What I have told about the dance form, festivals, and all when we are celebrating together. Okay. Now,
History and fiction, folklore and songs, popular phrases and symbols all played a part in the making of nationalism.
folklore, all those things, folklore songs and all also united people.
The identity of the nation, as you know, in chapter 3, chapter 1, is most often symbolized in a figure or image. This helps create an image with which people can identify the nation.
So that images are made to identify with the nation. That means what are the characteristics of in the all the different aspects have to be included in one image. It is not very easy to include all that different aspects. Got it?
It was the 20th century with the growth of nationalism that the identity of India came to be visually associated with the image of Bharat Mata. The image was first created by Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay.
Who created the image of Bharat Mata? Bankim Chandra
In the 1870s, he wrote Vande Mataram as a hymn to the motherland.
Who wrote Vande Mataram? Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay. So what is that hymn to the mother country?
Later it was included in his novel Anand Mat.
So what was the name of that novel written? Anand. So from where this one is taken? So Anand Mad you have to remember.
And widely sung during the Swadesh movement in Bengal. Moved by Swadeshi movement,
Abhinendranath Tagore.
Abhinavanath Tagore painted his famous image of Bharat Mata. In this image, in this painting, Bharat Mata is portrayed as an ascetic figure. She is calm, composed, divine, and spiritual.
So what are the characteristics of that? Who drew that painting? Abhinendranath Tagore. So the Bharat Mata was an ascetic figure. Ascetic means sannyasi. And what was the characteristic? Calm, composed, and divine.
Subsequent years, the image of Bharat Mata was many different forms, as it was painted in popular paintings and was painted by different artists. Devotion to this mother figure came to be an evidence of one's
Okay, this part is clear. Now, next paragraph. What is that? Ballads. Ballads means Ballads. Bards means groups. Groups of people. Okay.
Traditional culture that had been
So that a particular region's culture is corrupted by the interference of the external forces. They destroyed it. Now it is the duty to revive it, or it is the time to revive that one. Okay.
it was essential to preserve this folk tradition in order to discover one's national identity and restore a sense of pride in one's past. In Bengal, Rabindranath Tagore himself treated country ballads, nursery rhymes and myths, and led the movement of folk revival in Madras.
Nadesh Shastri. So that name, that all names you have to underline. What was the Nadesh Shastri's work? Folklore of Southern India. So collected that folklores of Southern India and compiled. Nadesha Shastri. Okay, tell. Folklore. Okay, over that one, who compiled that folklores of Tamil, the same Nadesha Shastri. Okay, see, be careful about this, your history book also, some pictures they will take and ask, that is identify this picture. So that type of question also used to come. So while learning, you should be very careful about seeing that each one to be observed carefully. You cannot ignore any part. So Nadesha Shastri compiled a massive 4-volume work of folklores of Tamil. Okay. Yes, next paragraph.
As the national movement developed, activist leaders became more and more aware of such hypothesis symbols in unifying people and inspiring in them a feeling of nationalism. During the Swadeshi movement in Bengal, a tricolor flag, red, green, and yellow, was designed. It was 8 provinces, representing 8 provinces of British India and present known by 1961. Gandhiji had designed the Swadeshi flag. But again, tricolor red. Carrying the flag
Holding it aloft means when we are holding that flag, it is keeping higher. That whenever you are seeing any building, that is in CPT, that NMMC building is there. So over that heights this flag is. So from far it could be seen. No flag could be made above that one. That should be the highest. And there are certain occasions we are bringing down that flag. Down means it lowering down. That is, some occasions are there, death of eminent persons and all, in order to show respect to that. So it is that it will not bring down, means just lowering down, that much is the respect given for that national flag. Completed? Now one paragraph, one big paragraph is there. You are feeling sleepy, you read. कोई तो बकरा बनना चाहिए ना. Reinterpretation. Okay.
Indians had to be taught, but how differently. The British for Indians as backward and primitive.
Listen, you just stop there. British created a belief, or that is spread a belief that Indians are primitive, uncivilized. Now there is a need to reinterpret our past, showing that we are having a proud past. That is what a reinterpretation. Uju, the attitude and thoughts spread by the British to be removed, and in its place, a pride to be developed. Okay.
In response, Indians began looking into the past to discover India's great achievements. They wrote about the glorious development in ancient times when art and architecture, science, mathematics, religion and culture, law, philosophy, crafts and trade had flourished. This glorious time, in their view, was followed by a history of decline.
So ancient time, why the foreigners were drawn towards India? Because of the richness. Not only about that wealth and prosperity, it was about the glories of the past. India was the birthplace of several religions. India was having great artistic forms, great universities, Nalanda, Takshila, like that Ujjain and all. So all these great universities, great knowledges we were having. So we should bring forth that one instead of being sad about what was created by others. That is why reinterpretation. Okay. First.
These nationalists also the readers to take pride in India's great achievements. The past and struggle to keep the very condition of life under British rule. These efforts to unify people were not without problems.
So this is what we are concluding by saying that it did not happen smoothly. It did not happen without problems. What was the problem? Read it. See, when the themes are taken for icons and symbols, what was taken? Everything is from Hindu mythology, Hindu iconography. So others started feeling that we are also part of this country. Why we were ignored? That is what the sad part of this. Got it? So it did not come smoothly. It was not of a very good this thing, means happy event. But still, we people are living together by forgetting and forgiving. That is what the most important aspect of India's culture. Okay. So that way India developed. And your homework I am going to give. Very sad, no? Conclusion is no, that all the full lessons summary only. Map question already I have given you, and some other questions also given, but now then assertion reasoning I have given you to do. Page number 62, 63 I have given. Now, what you have to do is solve the question, page 61, 62, 63. Not, see, up to short answer type, that is 3 mark question onwards, it is too much for you. So up to that is 16th question you have to do. Right in your, yes. Yeah. See, I'm not telling that is tomorrow you have to do. Whenever you are getting then and there, you try to complete. Yes. Have you heard about pages? Okay. Previous year's question answers you are not knowing.
But we can do it as.
Yes, sir. Yes, you can try. Next week I will start. No.
It is a continuation of.
Yes, yes, yes. Yes. Homework, have you heard?
Yes, ma'am.
So it is from your volume that solved questions are there, and math questions also I have told you to solve. So you side by side write it in your book so that learning will be easy. Clear? Okay. Let us wind up. Bye bye. Happy day.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye, ma'am. मजा आ गया? Okay. No. Today 10:30 only because I have to go to.
Have a great day.
Tell them to. Oh.